So again, good afternoon sa'yo, Elizer, and also Ronel. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Ay, good evening na pala.
Hello, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. Na-late ko, ma'am.
Okay, raw. Dili man actually late. Marag, ano naman, ano pa man. Just check. Sige, kawala si ano.
Si Orlando, ma'am. Wala pa kasulod.
Gani. Ano din naman si?
Ma'am, ni Blooming lagi karon, ma'am.
Char, thank you. Plan na kay +1. Ano sa mga nagkita og ano sa mga last week? Ikaw to akong kako last week.
Murag, ma'am, kay sa GMC, murag ikaw to kung kay istorya ata, ma'am. Mutana ko. Sa kuan sa RMC, GMC na no.
Ay, oh, tama. Tama.
Alagay ko, wala ka si ma'am, ni guwapa jud sa mot.
I'm sure, oy. Sa kuan na sa video ra na effect.
Dili, guwapa jud, ma'am.
Ganahan mo na magtudlo. Sige ka, masigit ang klase. Hi, Ma'am Rowena. Good evening, Ma'am Wena. Full screen. One, two, three. So siguro tatlo lang kayo, no? So this is already recorded na na meeting by Zoom. So we will only meet every 45 minutes, and if automatically this will stop. Yes, okay. So this will automatically stop, no, after 45 minutes. In case na more than 3 tayo, but for now maybe 3 pa tayo, no. I don't know with the other kung maka-join. So supposedly kasi 4 kayo. But then but in case lang na stop, so you just go back to the link again. I-click lang po ang link ko sa. So we can finally or formally end the session. But hope more or less every 45 minutes lang mag-meet and mag-discuss. So for this first meeting, welcome to
Hello, ma'am. Hello, ma'am.
Hello. And I'll be myself.
I-record mo ni ma'am, no?
Alin?
Recorded siya, ma'am.
Yes, recorded.
Pwede ma-review, ma'am, no? Kay if ever maputol-putol, ma'am ba?
Yes, that's why gina-record ko talaga siya. And in case po na any of you are absent, pwede rin ninyo go back ang link if ever you want to.
Okay, ma'am. Salamat.
So again, if you don't know me yet, I am Dr. Almeida Fernandez. I'm also currently your dean in the College of Agriculture, and hopefully you can attend our orientation this coming September 29 at 5 p.m. So posted na yung link, so hopefully you can come and see all your schoolmates or under the mga ka-AG sa College of Agriculture, and as well as yung iba nating mga faculty and mga staff, and also our Vice President for Administration, mag-message po siya. So, this is actually my first year pa in RMC. So, recently I came from the University of the South Pacific. It's an overseas international university in Samoa. It's somewhere in South Pacific. So, kung nakita na mo ng movie gani nga Moana. So, diha na banda sa South Pacific, sa Samoa. And so, I was in the middle of pandemic and when I was here back in the Philippines. So, I got the chance to stay here as in the college sa RMC. But previously, it's my 15 years of in the teaching and in the academe in the university. So I've been also an associate professor sa University of Southeastern Philippines. So I'm actually a PhD in horticulture at UPLB. So much more. I'm currently residing dito sa Tagum City. So everyday ko drive padulong sa office sa RMC. And sometimes work from home. So maybe I would also be glad to hear from you, a little background from you, and also your expectation to this class. So any Bisaya or Tagalog, no, na anything that you wanna use. So let's start with Sir Eliezer. Sir, madung minimo. Hello? Sir, pwede introduce ni mo yung muhang sarili?
Ma'am?
Ano ba, introduce ni mo yung muhang sarili, a little background, kung asa ka nagpuyo or asa ka nag-work.
Okay ma'am, okay ma'am. Ako dahil si Ronel Caros ma'am. I came from Matanao, Davao del Sur. And I work in Davao City, ma'am, as a marketing staff of advertising. I have one child, only one child, 6 years old, ma'am. And then ikuha na ko ang kurso na agriculture, ma'am, para daghan pa kong ma-learn about sa farming, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. I'm glad to hear that, pero nawala lagi mo ang video. Anyway.
Video. Oh, ma'am. Hello.
Hello, Sir Ronel. Sige.
Nag-blush lagi ka, ma'am.
Naka-blush on ko. Sige, sir. Can you introduce yourself? Yes, Sir Ronel.
Ma'am.
Pwede magpaila-ila kasi ang sarili kung taga-asa ka or nag-work na ba ka or minyo na ba ka, basiksingko ba ka?
Ako man to ganiya, ma'am. ako to ganiya nagkuhan.
Sorry. Abi na ako si Eliezer. Tingnan ko ano nagbutan tingog pa man. Okay. So thank you daw.
Sabon na lang ako, ma'am.
Sige, okay.
Ronel na ma'am, Ronel Caros from Matanao, Davao del Sur. Nag-work ko sa Davao, ma'am, as sa advertising, as a marketing staff sa advertising. Then I have one child, ma'am. It's a boy.
Kailangan ng mga asawa.
Wala, ma'am, bulak ni ma'am.
Sama. Ano sila ko isang dep? Tanawa sila dito, be?
Okay, thank you, Sir Ronel.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Okay. Ma'am Rowena. Ma'am Rowena. Yes, Ma'am Rowena. Medyo ano mang good no, di muga na ang paslakanan sa ako. Okay, Sir Eliezer. Okay ra. So, Ma'am Rowena, makadungog ka. If sige, if dili ka makadungog, Ma'am Rowena, tingog lang ha if ever makatalk na ka. So, I hope you can still hear me. If not, you just come back to the link na ipopost na ako kasi this will be recorded. So, I'll be giving you now the orientation, a little bit of orientation of the subject and about Quiper. Although much of the things that we're going to do with the Quiper, I will be oriented to you during your orientation. Hopefully, ngayong Monday, day 27, no, meron ding orientation for newcomers. So thank you also for coming for enrolling in RMC. So hopefully, we could help you in your success sa inyong chosen career. So I hope to hear from you, Ma'am Rowena. Inig maka-connect na ka. And also Sir Eliezer. So most probably kayong tatlo ay working na din.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Sir Eliezer, and then taga-asa ka, sir?
Hello, ma'am. Putol-putol bila akong signal.
Okay lang. Nadsud na ako ang kinabuhi karon nga time. But then padayon lang gihapon ta. So as you can see on my screen, meron
Hello,
tayong
ma'am.
yes. Meron lang tayong 4 na units, no? This will be your prelim, midterm, pre-final, and final. So, every unit meron kayong quizzes na dapat mismo dito sa Quiper ninyo sasagutin. That's why meron yung mga questions.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yes. So, under sa prelim, meron tayong 2 topic. We have only 1 topic, agriculture, definition, and history. So, in here, naka-preview na yan, no? So, ito yung makikita ninyo in your screen when you open your Quiper, no? And this is much more on reading, on the history and the status ng agriculture. So next to this is also a video that you're going to watch here, The Great History of Agriculture. Ayan. And after that is you're going to answer the quiz. So every is nagbibigay lang ako ng 3 questions, no? Enough for a quiz considering inyong time and your internet connection. So hopefully you can answer this one. If ever magkamali kayo ng answer, but fortunately it's for example lang, no? Magkamali kayo. Okay, so just proceed to the next question. And actually next, kala ko 3 lang. Ano daan? So since naamoy mali, daghan din. 5 siguro ka question ako ay. So, naamoy mali, you just click finish the quiz and try failed questions again. So, mubalik na pud mo doon dito sa question, no? I-next lang ninyo dali nga portion. And so, if until 100% na ninyo, no? So, for your grading system, so as you can see, ayan, ito yung inyong assignment. So, ma-receive na ninyo sa inyong account, Agri 1, Exploring Agriculture or Introduction to Agriculture. So, I know some of you already have started, no? Makita nga na dali sa, performance. So, si Sir Ronel, yeah, in progress. So, ito yung mga score ninyo. So, quizzes completed. Si Sir Ronald na lang ang may kulang sa quiz, no? And although this will not be your final grade kasi i-check ko pa, i-divide ko ang attempts ninyo o ang inyong score, no? And make sure that this is all completed. And that this will be 25% of your grade. Another 25% of your grade ay ang inyong exams, and 50% of your grade is your laboratory work or report. Okay. So yun lang ang requirements natin for our subject. We will have your Kuiper quizzes and performance, which is 25% of your grade, and also another 25% for your exam, and then 50% sa inyong laboratory work and report. So sa Kuiper essay, magsisend ako sa inyo ng exam and also essays. Laboratory assignment. So, and take note, you have 97 days left to, kasi I'm giving the whole STEM as a due date, no? So hanggang December 31 before computation or after the end of the semester. So hopefully you can finish all the assignments. So pila lang man ka units. 4 na units, so most probably tag-dalawa ka assignment each. So that's it. And your attendance, by the way, is not part of the requirement of your grade, pero siya, additional points siya sa inyong mga quizzes sa overall grade ninyo. So every meeting natin, I'll be counting your attendance, pero as additional points na siya sa exam and everything. No? So hopefully you will have higher grades. And so if you don't have question anymore with the grading system, then we can proceed with our discussion. Since this is just 40-minute So although inuna ko itong reading material, but I rather go back here. So and let's proceed with the video presentation kasi it's exactly the same, and later iha-highlight ko kung ano ang mga na-mention doon. Sa dihang, ako naman po. Ayun. So i-next lang na ko siya ha. Wait lang kayo, naka-zoom, ang ganda siya. Okay, so I guess let's just watch this one.
Good day. Today's topic will bring us back to ancient times to trace the history of agriculture and how it developed into a modern time. Over centuries, the growth of agriculture contributed to the rise of civilizations. Before agriculture became widespread, people spent most of their lives searching for food, hunting wild animals, and gathering wild plants. About 11,500 years ago, people gradually learned how to grow cereal and root crops and settled down to a life based on farming. By 2,000 years ago, much of the Earth's population had begun to live on agriculture. Quite a shift to farming took place.
Ma'am, excuse ma'am.
Yes?
Ma'am, nakoy pangutana ma'am ba?
Yes?
About bitaw ato sa quiz bitaw nagyansiran bitaw atong assignment ba to, di ba? Tong 1 to 5.
Oo.
Ma'am, kailangan to siya ma'am. Ako tong usbon ug answer. para makuha lang jud siya ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma-perfect lang jud og answer ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, copy ma'am.
Para ma-improve din mo yung score.
Okay. Salamat ma'am.
Okay. So, we'll now continue with the video. Madunggan ninyo ang video, no?
Hinay kay ma'am.
Hinay kayo ma'am.
Hinay kayo pa. So, anyway na.
Yes ma'am, hinay kaya.
Adapting wild plants and animals for people to use is called domestication.
Naman nun siya, words.
The first domesticated plant was probably rice or corn. Chinese farmers were cultivating rice as early as 7500 BCE. The first domesticated animals were dogs, which were used for hunting. Sheep and goats were probably domesticated next. People also domesticated cattle and pigs. Most of these animals had once been hunted for hides and meat. Now many of them are also sources of milk, cheese, and butter. Eventually, people used domesticated animals such as oxen for plowing, pulling, and transportation. Agriculture is the art and science of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. It includes the preparation of plant and animal products for people to use in their distribution to markets. Agriculture provides most of the world's food and fabrics. Agriculture enabled people to produce surplus food. They could use this extra food when crops failed or traded for other goods. Food surpluses allowed people to look at other tasks unrelated to farming. Agriculture kept formal and nomadic people near their fields and led to the development of permanent villages. These became linked through trade. New economies were so successful in some areas that cities grew and civilizations developed. The earliest civilizations based on intensive agriculture arose near the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in Mesopotamia, now Iraq and Iran, and along the Nile River in Egypt. For thousands of years, agricultural development was very slow. One of the earliest agricultural tools was fire. Native Americans used fire to control the growth of berry-producing plants, which they knew grew quickly after a wildfire. Farmers cultivated small plots of land by hand, using axes to clear away trees and digging sticks to break up and till the soil. Over time, improved farming tools of bone, stone, bronze, and iron were developed. New methods of storage evolved. People began stockpiling foods in jars and clay-lined pits for use in times of scarcity. They also began making clay pots and other vessels for carrying and cooking food. Around 5500 BCE, farmers in Mesopotamia developed simple irrigation systems. By channeling water from streams onto their fields, farmers were able to settle in areas once thought to be unsuited to agriculture. In Mesopotamia, and later in Egypt and China, people organized themselves and worked together to build and maintain better irrigation systems. Early farmers also developed improved varieties of plants. For example, around 6000 BCE, a new variety of wheat arose in South Asia and Egypt. It was stronger than previous cereal grains. Its hulls were easier to remove and it could be made into bread. As the Romans expanded their empire, they adapted the best agricultural methods of the people they conquered. They wrote manuals about the farming techniques they observed in Africa, Asia, and adapted them to land in Europe. The Chinese also adapted farming tools and methods from nearby empires. A variety of rice from Vietnam ripened quickly and allowed farmers to harvest several crops during a single growing season. This rice quickly became popular throughout China. Many medieval European farmers used an open field system of planting. One field would be planted in spring, another in autumn, and one would be left unplanted or fallow. This system preserved nutrients in the soil, increasing crop production. The leaders of the Islamic Golden Age, which reached its height around 1000 BCE in North Africa and the Middle East, made agriculture into a science. From Asia, they carried home coffee, tea, and indigo, a plant used to make blue dye. In the 15th and 16th centuries, explorers introduced new varieties of plants and agricultural products into Europe. From the Americas, they took plants such as potatoes, tomatoes, corn, beans, peanuts, and tobacco. Some of these became staples and expanded people's diets. That is all for now. Thank you very much for viewing our first part of the history of agriculture. I hope you learned and enjoyed watching. Coming up next, inventions of machinery that aided the development of ancient agriculture. See you. Good day.
Okay, so that's the history of agriculture. No, in the video presentation, sa isig na sana ko ang ha. Wait lang. Okay, so I'll just go back to this one, the definition on history of agriculture, yung material ninyo. So, is as a definition, agriculture is both an art and a science, of cultivating the soil, growing crops, and raising livestock. So agriculture, hindi lang siya plants, but also both plant and animals. So lahat ng plant and animal products natin na ginagamit since as much as more than 2,000 years ago, since we started as hunters and gatherers, and we ganun ka-old ang agriculture. But as through time, we were able to mag-invent and mag-improvise sa ating farming. And so that is the very important role ng agriculture, which is to provide most of the world's food, not only food, but also fabrics, and even wood, and lahat ng mga ito ay agricultural products. So metal, except for metal, lahat ay all agriculture, cotton, wool, and leather. So agriculture is also the main source ng ating mga wood furnitures, buildings, and even paper products from trees. So, and over the centuries, the agriculture has already improved together with civilizations. Wait lang, pangit kayo siya pagkaano. Galing na lang pa sa link. Okay, nakaano siya, see. Okay, so this is actually from the National Geographic. So how does the agriculture started? And over the centuries, yung agriculture natin have grown already together with our civilizations. So it's also shown, this is also shown on the video that I have presented. And since, as I have said, noong una, mga hunters and gatherers lang tayo. So that was 11,500 years ago. So, and pagkatapos niyan, we learn eventually how to grow cereal and root crops. And nagkaroon na tayo ng life-based farming. And 2,000 years ago, yung population natin has increased and has become dependent na on agriculture. So, yung shift natin to farming took place at this point, although scholars were not really sure bakit and how come, Kasi dati wala tayong masyadong evidence, no? Mga script lang, mga yung old civilization nasa Mesopotamia, diba? And wala tayong masyadong evidence what really had happened, no? That might be because of climate change. So, by the way, we are running out of time, so I will not elaborate further since I know you have read this naman. And also, we only have 9 minutes. So, pagputol ng ating, ng ating Zoom, so automatic end na rin tayo. But I will stay on the link and you can also go back to the link in case naapa mo further questions or clarification. So in that instance, we become very like nag-improve tayo in terms of farming. So we began growing crops and then herding and breeding wild animals. So imagine we have learned how to breed animals, of course, naman, no, through time. And adapting wild plants and animals for use, we call them as domestication. So dati, from hunters to gatherers, nag-domesticate na tayo ng plants and animals. So therefore, the first ito talaga this still, although hindi naman siya debatable kasi meron kasing evidence that Chinese farmers were already cultivating rice as early as 7,500 before Christ era na siya, no? So most probably, based on record, rice and corn ang mga first domesticated plants, but that's we don't know yet, no? Even hanggang ngayon, we can still they are still yung mga ating geologists and archaeologists are still finding out evidences of our history, no? So, and they also thought that the first domesticated animals were dog and then followed by sheep and goats. And then cattle and pigs. And then these are being hunted for their meat and hides. No? And these are also become sources of milk, cheese, and butter. And eventually, we use domesticated animals as oxen for sa ating land preparation, like plowing, pulling, and even transportation ng mga kabayo or kalabaw sa atin. So agriculture will enable us to produce surplus food, but right now it's not well distributed. No, there are still some parts of the world na are still starving, like Africa or some parts of the Philippines na nalilimos pa rin, no? And kulang pa rin. In fact, yung status ng agriculture natin, we import, meaning nag-angkat pa tayo from other countries, no? Especially rice, no? From Vietnam, kasi Vietnam is the top producer ng rice. But then they could use this extra food when crops failed or trade it for other goods and allowed people to work at tasks unrelated to farming. So agriculture eventually kept formally nomadic people, yung mga people na latagaw, no? Transferring from one place to another and led to the development ng permanent villages. So nagkaroon na tayo ng society, meron na tayong mga barangay, and now we are so political at present. So, and then nagkaroon na tayo ng trading system hanggang economy, no? And very successful. Cities grow, population grow, and the civilization develop. And in fact, the earliest civilization was based sa agriculture, no? Doon sa Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Mesopotamia, now which is Iran and Iraq, and also in the Nile River of Egypt, if you have remembered. So the history. So under improved technology for 1,000 years, yung agriculture development is very slow, unlike sa industrial business or market, no, or even internet or technology. So look at how what technology that we are now, diba? Dati face-to-face tayo, and because of the need, we have shifted from a new paradigm. We become digital in terms of money and exchanges, and even in education, no, we become virtual. And yet we have no choice but to use the technology so we can go on sa ato ang mga lives, and also we can achieve the degree that we wanted. So, but way back before, yung ating mga earliest agricultural tools were fire, and it was when Native Americans used fire to control the growth of berry-producing plants, and which they grow after a wildfire, and then they cultivate small pots of land by hand using access para ma-clear siya. So we in this time, ginagamit nila yung mga digging sticks to break up or till the soil. And over time, meron na tayong farming tools gamit ang bone, stone, bronze, and iron. And there were new methods, like meron na tayong storage ng ating crops. People began stockpiling foods in jars and clay. In times nga tig-winter scarcity or adverse condition, tig-bagyo. And they make clay and other vessels para madala yung or to carry or store cooking food. And around 5,500 BCE, yung farmers in Mesopotamia they have improvised watering to irrigation system. So doon actually sa Iraq ang irrigation na invent. Then by channeling water from stream patungo sa kanilang fields, so they have able to water the fields. And later in Egypt and China, they organize and work together para magkaroon ng better irrigation system. So we have rice terraces. No? And early, before farmers develop varieties of plants, so meron na tayong mga GMO ngayon, genetically modified organism. But before around 6,000 BCE, they have developed already the new variety of wheat in Southeast Asia and Egypt, and like cereal grains. Then hulls were removed para maging bread, no? And during the Roman Empire, they adopted and conquered. They adopted the best agricultural methods also. Even they wrote manuals about farming techniques, and they have been observed in Africa and Asia, also in Europe. And Chinese also adopted farming tools method, and Vietnam, which ripened rice variety that ripened quickly, and also single growing season. This rice quickly became popular throughout China. And during the medieval European farmers, they used open field system of planting. Then they plant during spring, autumn, and sometimes unplanted. So this system also preserved nutrients in the soil. So this is another technique to increase crop production at their time. And then now we come the Islamic Golden Age. So they in North Africa, in Middle East, they said they applied agriculture into science, no, through crop rotation, iba-ibang tatanim. And 15th to 16th centuries, the explorer introduced mga new varieties, no, and Asia in Asia na introduce yung coffee, tea, indigo, and they make blue dye. And from America, na-distribute yung potato, tomatoes, corn, beets, peanuts, and tobacco to some other parts of the country, no? And now become part of our diet. Now, in the time of machines naman, it's also very important development in agriculture in the 1700s for Great Britain and in some countries like Belgium and Luxembourg and Netherlands, no? which even below sea level sila, ha? But they have invented a lot of agriculture technologies, which increase food production for Europe and also for US and Canada. So example of the improvements is the horse-drawn seed drill. So as early as